Good morning. This is Kemp Blaylock with SDG Bible Study. That's the SOLI DEO GLORIA Bible Study. Happy St. Patrick's Day on this Monday morning, March the 17th, 2025. I hope everyone is doing well and ready for the day and excited about getting into the reading of God's Word as we continue in the reading from Paul David Tripp, the Everyday Gospel. Daily Devotional with reading from the biblical text. This morning we're going to be in 3 chapters beginning in Joshua chapter 22, I believe it is. So join me as we read God's Word together. Joshua chapter 22. Then Joshua summoned the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh and said to them, "You have kept all that Moses the servant of Yahweh commanded you and have listened to my voice in all that I commanded you. You have not forsaken your brothers these many days to this day, but have kept the responsibility of the commandment of Yahweh your God. And now Yahweh your God has given rest to your brothers, as he spoke to them. So now turn and go to your tents, to the land of your possession, which Moses the servant of Yahweh gave you beyond the Jordan. Only keep yourselves very carefully to do the commandment and the law which Moses the servant of Yahweh commanded you, to love Yahweh your God and walk in all his ways and keep his commandments and cling to him and serve him with all your heart and with all your soul." Then Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their tents. Now to the one half tribe of Manasseh Moses had given a possession in Bashan, but to the other half Joshua gave a possession among the brothers westward beyond the Jordan. So when Joshua sent them away to their tents, he blessed them and spoke to them, saying, "Return to your tents with great riches and with very much livestock, with silver, gold, bronze, iron, and with very many clothes. Divide the spoil of your enemies with your brothers." Then the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh returned home and departed from the sons of Israel at Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the land of Gilead, to the land of their possession, which they had possessed, according to the command of Yahweh by the hand of Moses. And they came to the region of the Jordan, which is in the land of Canaan, and the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh built an altar there by the Jordan, a large altar in appearance. And the sons of Israel heard it, said, "Behold, the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh have built an altar at the entrance of the land of Canaan in the region of the Jordan on the side belonging to the sons of Israel." Then the sons of Israel heard of it, and the whole congregation of the sons of Israel assembled themselves at Shiloh to go up against them in war. Then the sons of Israel sent to the sons of Reuben and to the sons of Gad and to the half tribe of Manasseh into the land of Gilead Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest, and with him 10 leaders, one leader for each father's household from each of the tribes of Israel, and each of them was the head of his father's household among the thousands of Israel. So they came to the sons of Reuben and to the sons of Gad and to the half tribe of Manasseh to the land of Gilead. And they spoke with them, saying, "Thus says the whole congregation of Yahweh, what is this unfaithful act which you have committed against the God of Israel, turning away from following Yahweh this day by building yourself an altar to rebel against Yahweh this day? Is the iniquity of Peor too small a thing for us, from which we have not cleansed ourselves to this day, although there was a plague on the congregation of Yahweh? Yet you are turning away this day from following Yahweh. Now it will be that if you rebel against Yahweh today, he will be angry with the whole congregation of Israel tomorrow. If, however, the land of your possession is unclean, then cross into the land of the possession of Yahweh, where the tabernacle of Yahweh dwells, and take possession among us. But do not rebel against Yahweh, nor rebel against us by building an altar for yourselves besides the altar of Yahweh your God. Did not Achan the son of Zerah act unfaithfully in the things devoted to destruction, and indignation fall on all the congregation of Israel? But he was not the only man to breathe his last in his iniquity. Then the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh answered and spoke to the heads of the thousands of Israel. The mighty one, God, Yahweh, the mighty one, God, Yahweh. He knows, and may Israel itself know, if it was in rebellion or if in an unfaithful act against Yahweh. Do not save us this day. If we have built for ourselves an altar to turn away from following Yahweh, or if to perform a burnt offering or grain offering on it, or if to offer sacrifices or peace offerings on it, may Yahweh himself require it. But we have truly done this out of concern for a reason, saying, in time to come, your sons may say to our sons, what have you to do with Yahweh, the God of Israel? And Yahweh has made the Jordan a border between us and you sons of Reuben and sons of Gad. You have no portion in Israel. So your sons may make our sons stop fearing Yahweh. Therefore we said, let us build an altar, not for burnt offering or for sacrifice. Rather, it shall be a witness between us and you, and between our generation after us, that we are to perform the service of Yahweh before him with our burnt offerings and with our sacrifices and with our peace offerings, so that your sons will not say to our sons in time to come, you have no portion in Yahweh. Therefore we said, it will also be that if they say this to us or to our generations in time to come, then we shall say, see the copy of the altar of Yahweh, which our fathers made, not for burnt offering or for sacrifice. Rather, it is a witness between us and you. Far be it from us to rebel against Yahweh and turn away from following Yahweh this day by building an altar for burnt offering, for grain offering, or for sacrifice, besides the altar of Yahweh our God, which is before his tabernacle. So Phinehas the priest and the leaders of the congregation, even the heads of the thousands of Israel who were with him, heard the words which the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad and the sons of Manasseh spoke, and it was good in their sight. And Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest said to the sons of Reuben and to the sons of Gad and to the sons of Manasseh, today we know that Yahweh is in our midst, because you have not committed this unfaithful act against Yahweh. So then you have delivered the sons of Israel from the hand of Yahweh. Then Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, and the leaders returned from the sons of Reuben and from the sons of Gad, from the land of Gilead to the land of Canaan, to the sons of Israel, and brought back word to them. And the word was good in the sight of the sons of Israel, and the sons of Israel blessed God, and they did not speak of going up against them in war to destroy the land in which the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad were living. And the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad called the altar Witness, for they said, it is a witness between us that Yahweh is God. Now to chapter 23. Now it happened after many days, after Yahweh had given rest to Israel from all their enemies on every side, and Joshua was old, advanced in years, that Joshua called for all Israel, for their elders and their heads and their judges and their officers, and said to them, I am old, advanced in years, and you have seen all that Yahweh your God has done to all these nations because of you. For Yahweh your God is he who has been fighting for you. See, I have allotted to you these nations which remain as an inheritance for your tribes, with all the nations which I have cut off, from the Jordan even to the great sea, toward the setting of the sun. And Yahweh your God, he will thrust them out from before you and dispossess them before you, and you will possess their land, just as Yahweh your God promised you. Be very strong then to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, so that you may not turn aside from it to the right hand or to the left, so that you will not go along with these nations, these which remain among you, and you will not mention the name of their gods, and you will not make anyone swear by them, and you will not serve them, and you will not bow down to them. But you are to cling to Yahweh your God, as you have done this to this day. For Yahweh has dispossessed great and mighty nations from before you, and as for you, no man has stood before you to this day. One of your men will pursue 1,000 for Yahweh your God is he who fights for you, just as he has promised you. So keep your souls very carefully to love Yahweh your God. For if you ever turn back and cling to the rest of these nations, these which remain among you, and intermarry with them, so that you go along with them, and they with you, know with certainty that Yahweh your God will not continue to dispossess these nations from before you, but they will be a snare and a trap to you, and a whip on your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish off this good land which Yahweh your God has given you. Now behold, today I am going the way of all the earth, and you know in all your hearts and in all your souls that not one word of all the good words which Yahweh your God spoke concerning you has failed. All have come to pass for you. Not one word of them has failed. And it will be that just as all the good words which Yahweh your God spoke to you have come upon you, so Yahweh will bring upon you all the calamitous words until he has destroyed you from off this good land which your God has given you. When you trespass against the covenant of Yahweh your God, which he commanded you, and go and serve other gods and bow down to them, then the anger of Yahweh will burn against you, and you will perish quickly from off the good land which he has given you. Now to chapter 24. Then Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem, and called for the elders of Israel, and for their heads, and their judges, and their officers, and they presented themselves before God. And Joshua said to all the people, Thus Yahweh the God of Israel, from ancient times your fathers lived beyond the river, namely Terah, the father of Abraham and the father of Nahor, and they served other gods. Then I took your father Abraham from beyond the river, and led him through all the land of Canaan, and multiplied his seed, and gave him Isaac. Excuse me. To Isaac I gave Jacob and Esau, and to Esau I gave Mount Seir to possess it. But Jacob and his sons went down to Egypt. Then I sent Moses and Aaron, and I smote Egypt by what I did in its midst. And afterward I brought you out. And I brought your fathers out of Egypt, and you came to the sea, and Egypt pursued your fathers with chariots and horsemen to the Red Sea. Then they cried out to Yahweh. He put darkness between you and the Egyptians, and brought the sea upon them, and covered them. And your eyes saw what I did in Egypt, and you lived in the wilderness for many days. Then I brought you into the land of the Amorites, who live beyond the Jordan, and they fought with you, and I gave them into your hand, and you took possession of their land. I destroyed them before you. Then Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, arose and fought against Israel, and he sent and summoned Balaam, the son of Beor, to curse you. But I was not willing to listen to Balaam, so he blessed you repeatedly, and I delivered you from his hand. And you crossed the Jordan and came to Jericho, and the citizens of Jericho fought against you, and the Amorite, and the Perizzite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Girgashite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Thus I gave them into your hand. Then I sent the hornet before you, and I drove out the 2 kings of the Amorites from before you, but not by your sword or your bow. And I gave you a land on which you had not labored, and cities which you had not built, and you have lived in them. You are eating of vineyards and olive groves which you did not plant. So now, fear Yahweh and serve him in integrity and truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served beyond the river and in Egypt, and serve Yahweh. If it is evil in your sight to serve Yahweh, choose for yourselves today whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served, which were beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you are living. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahweh. And the people answered and said, Far be it from us that we should forsake Yahweh to serve other gods. And the people answered, For Yahweh our God is he who brought us and our fathers up out of the land of Egypt from the house of slavery, and who did these great signs in our sight, and kept us through all the way in which we went, and among all the peoples through whose midst we passed. And Yahweh drove out from before us all the peoples, even the Amorites who lived in the land. We also will serve Yahweh, for he is our God. Then Joshua said to the people, you will not be able to serve Yahweh, for he is a holy God. He is a jealous God. He will not forgive your transgression or your sins. If you forsake Yahweh and serve foreign gods, then he will turn and do you harm and consume you after he has done good to you. And the people said to Joshua, no, but we will serve Yahweh. And Joshua said to the people, you are witnesses against yourselves that you have chosen for yourselves Yahweh to serve him. And they said, we are witnesses. So now put away the foreign gods which are in your midst, and incline your hearts to Yahweh, the God of Israel. And the people said to Joshua, we will serve Yahweh our God, and we will listen to his voice. So Joshua cut a covenant with the people that day and made for them a statute and a judgment in Shechem. And Joshua wrote these words. And Joshua wrote these words in the book of the law of God, and he took a large stone and set it up there under the oak that was by the sanctuary of Yahweh. And Joshua said to all the people, behold, this stone shall be for a witness against us, for it has heard all the words of Yahweh which he spoke to us. Thus it shall be for a witness against you, lest you deny your God. Then Joshua dismissed the people, each to his inheritance. Now it happened that after these things, Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of Yahweh, died, being 110 years old. And they buried him in the territory of his inheritance in Timnath Serah, which is in the hill country of Ephraim, on the north of Mount Gaash. And Israel served Yahweh all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders who survived Joshua, who knew all the work of Yahweh which he had done for Israel. Now they buried the bones of Joseph, which the sons of Israel brought up from Egypt at Shechem, in the portion of the field which Jacob had bought from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 kesita, and they became the inheritance of Joseph's sons. And Eleazar the son of Aaron died, and they buried him at Gibeah of Phinehas his son, which was given him in the hill country of Ephraim. That will conclude our reading from the biblical text. Now our devotional. Between the already of our conversion and the not yet of our homegoing, the big question is, where the rubber meets the road in our daily lives, whom or what will we give our hearts to? I have made many ministry trips to India. I have seen the dominating power of overt idolatry. I've experienced how idol worship forces itself into every area of a person's life. Those who worship physical idols in the temple also bowed before idols in their homes, along the road, and in restaurants. The presence and power of idols cover every place and every activity like a dark and ominous cloud. The presence and influence of these things made of wood and stone seem inescapable. In the book of Joshua, the children of Israel find themselves in a significant spiritual moment. They are in the place God had promised, but they are surrounded by the false gods of the nations around them. Will they surrender their hearts to God and God alone, being careful to keep his commands and resist idolatrous temptations? Or will they wander away from the Lord and progressively give their hearts away to false gods? Joshua gives the children of Israel this charge. Be very strong to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, turning aside from it neither to the right hand nor to the left, that you may not mix with these nations among you, or make mention of the names of their gods, or swear by them, or serve them, or bow down to them. But you shall cling to the Lord your God, just as you have done to this day. For the Lord has driven out before you great and strong nations. And as for you, no man has been able to stand before you to this day. One man of you puts to flight 1,000, since it is the Lord your God who fights for you, just as he promised you. Be very careful, therefore, to love the Lord your God. Joshua chapter 23, verses 6 through 11. Joshua reminds the leaders of the children of Israel that by the display of his awesome power, God has again and again demonstrated that he is the one true God, and that no one can stand against him. As the one true God, he gives power to his people so that just one Israelite can drive 1,000 enemies away. The one true God has fought and will continue to fight for his people. So Joshua charges them to bow down to no other God and to surrender their lives to the moral code written in the book of the law. Again, it's important to remember that this passage was preserved for our instruction, conviction, and guidance. You might think, I don't serve any idols. That may be true of physical idols, but the broader definition of idolatry in Scripture includes anything that takes the place in your heart that only God should have. Anything can be an idol. What has power to control your thoughts, What has power to control your thoughts, emotions, and desires? May God alone lay claim to our hearts. Let's read Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 24. Do not store up for yourself treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in or steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The eye is the lamp of the body, so then if your eye is clear, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light that is in you is darkness, how great is the darkness? No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and wealth. And that will conclude our reading from this devotional and the biblical text this morning. I hope you've enjoyed it this morning, and I hope you have understood how easily idols can come into our lives. Not physical idols here. Yes, certainly in India, where Hinduism is prevalent, there are many physical idols, but not so much here in the United States. There are more idols of the heart, and where we put our desires and things above our love for God. It can be many things. It can be your job. It can be your spouse. I can make my wife Holly an idol in my heart if I'm not careful. I must love God more than I love my wife, and that's a great temptation for me because I do love my wife. And like I said, it can be your grandchildren. It can be your possessions, your beach home, or your desire to have one, your car, anything it can be. So keep God at the foremost of your heart. Keep him on the throne of your heart, or you'll be sinning against God. I hope you have a blessed day today. I hope you give God glory in everything that you do today. Soli Deo Gloria.